Well, let's see if we get a message from the universe today. Doing the ruffle shuffle here. I feel so 60s and 70s today. I would have loved this when I lived up in Haight-Ashbury. But that's okay, I'll have it now. Okay, so the center of it, we have arguments, difficulties that you're dealing with. Okay, what you're holding on to, what's being held on to, and under that, what's being birthed. Let's see what else we have with this. We have manipulation. We have status. Underneath of it, resourcefulness. Challenges, endings, coffin, and health. Okay, at the heart of it. So it's about, okay, and again, underneath of it, what's being held to? What are you holding to? So looking at this, the overall view of it is about something that you are in argumentative status about, that it's difficult for you, that you are just fighting with, the energies that you're fighting with, because rods are the energies. So what is it you're fighting with? What is it underneath that you keep holding on to and birthing? Something that you have and stuff that you are holding on to in your daily life that you are continuing to struggle with. So what's being birthed out of that? It's about manipulating status. Are you trying to look like, again, living beyond your means? Is it living beyond the means? And that could be ruining your health, because we have the challenges, the coffin, and the health. So it's about, at the heart of things, being resourceful. What do you have in hand, okay, that sheds light on something higher, okay? So use what you have, be creative with it, and don't think that you've got to have the latest new status symbol, status drama, okay? There's no sense to try to manipulate that type of things, because this can, again, get you in trouble financially. Now we have people that get their credit cards and stuff and they'll max it out. And then what happens? Your health gets ruined because you're under so much stress and thinking that you've got to always continuing to birth something new, better, than what you have. Just be resourceful for what you have at the heart of things, and you don't have to manipulate your status. Just be who you are. Be who you are, be what you are. You don't always have to, this is one thing that I have to say. When I lived in Fort Lauderdale, I went up one time to this social event, and it was right up by where 45 was. These were the in people, but they were so plastic. It was all about what designer you're wearing, who's got the latest Birkin bags, all of that type of nonsense. And you could see that this is not good for one's health. You have the women that are there that every week they're going and getting Botox and having to have, these surgery, plastic surgery after plastic surgery after plastic surgery, and again trying to manipulate their status, looking more than what they are, etc. And for what? For why? Just be who you are and save your health. Okay? Use what you have. At the heart of it, just be resourceful. Enjoy what you have and make it work for you. Okay? I've never understood this where one has to have, why do people, if they win a lottery, the first thing they go out and want to buy is a multi-million-dollar home with 10 bedrooms. What are you going to do with all of that? Who needs it? I even think that the place I have here is too large. I wanted to find a small place, but I had a really difficult time. I was not finding a small place. And I would have made a tiny house, but you can't make them here. I just don't get that, why you have to have bigger, better, more. Now, yeah, I change things a lot, but I buy my stuff at the secondhand store or I buy it on Amazon. I'm not buying designer label things. Now I did buy one designer purse. You know where it's at? Up in the closet. You know why? Because there's nowhere here to use something like that. And even if I was in another place, I don't think I would use it. For why? For why? I'm probably going to wind up selling it, putting it on because I've never used it. It's just sitting there. Now, it wasn't a new purse, It definitely wasn't a new thing that I went out and bought for thousands of dollars. Absolutely not. But it still was not cheap. And so I've got that and I'm going, what am I going to do with this thing? So, yeah, it's going to go by the wayside. But it's just saying, use what you have, be resourceful, don't look for status, because status goes. We see things like movie stars, etc., and they're made for this image, and they have to keep up some sort of a status, and then they're so miserable because people expect them to be this image that's been created, and they're not that person. And so they wind up having a really difficult life. One I think of that definitely was in that was the one that played Gilda. Was it Maureen O'Hara? Not Maureen O'Hara. It wasn't Maureen O'Hara. I can't think of her name now, but you know who I mean. Beautiful, beautiful woman. And they had her play this very sexy role. And she says what happened in her life is she couldn't have a relationship. She had gotten married a number of times, but the guy she went out and dated, she said they'd go to bed with Gilda and they'd wake up with me. And I am not Gilda. Her personality behind the screens was so opposite of what she played on the screen. And, they were expecting her to be that on-screen persona. Same thing happened to Marilyn Monroe. They wanted to keep putting her in that box of like the sex kitten box, and she wasn't that. So, again, just be who you are and genuine with who and what you are. I'm genuinely just kind of quirky, okay? But I'm actually very quiet. I don't enjoy big parties. I don't enjoy big crowds. I don't, that's me. And while on this side you see this part of my persona, which is definitely part of my persona, it's not done to elicit a lot of attention. It's done just simply because I enjoy it. And I am a person that is expressive, likes color. And so again, that's part of my personality. But I think a lot of people would look at me and assume that I would be somebody that's into parties or, that type of thing, which really I'm not. I'm very quiet. When I'm in a crowd with people, I'm not real talkative. Okay? I'm just not. So I think sometimes people get an idea about an image about a person, and they can be something totally different. So if you're struggling with these things, just know who and what you are is the best thing to be. Just be who you are. And don't create a mask. You don't need to have a mask. If you're naturally quirky, then be quirky. If you think that, I can't be quirky because I need to wear a business suit, I need to look a certain way, etc., be who you are. And then you can be more fulfilled in your life. Okay? Don't let other people dictate to you how you have to look, etc. Be who you are at the core. And that will, show that you are a much happier person in the end. These are things that maybe you are struggling with. Remember, our first card come out is a struggle about creating and what's being birthed and what you're holding on to and status and all of these things. Okay, status is not important. That can come and that can go. One day they'll be putting you on a pedestal, and the next day they'll be doing everything they can to tear you down and say you're the most disgusting person on the planet. Okay? That can happen. So don't hold to status. It's fleeting. Those type of things are fleeting. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you online.